What's up, crypto enthusiasts? Jay here, and today we're going to talk about centralization and crypto and how it relates and how we're seeing it in the real world right in front of us. I'm going to show you some real world examples from the last 3 weeks, one that happened in the last 4 or 5 days, and one that is literally breaking right now. And I'm sure at the end you'll agree with me, that's what we're all fighting for, decentralizing everything. Thoughts, opinions, beliefs, power, and of course, currency. Cue the intro. It's Jay, and this video is gonna be a little real, a little raw type video. This has been on my mind now for, I don't know, maybe a month or two. I think it's a combination of not really knowing, should I be the one talking about this? Is this stepping over the line? Gosh, I might lose my YouTube. Am I gonna get a strike? Fear, instead of just kind of speaking my mind. And you guys know me, I'm one to really speak my mind. So we're gonna talk about centralization, and we're gonna talk about how that relates to crypto. We're gonna talk about how that relates to your attention. Right now, whether you realize it or not, there's a war going on for your attention. But time out. There's a ton of wars going on. Holy cow. There's the war on guns. There's the war on racism going on in America. There's the war on prejudiceness going on with women in America. There's the war on pedophilia and guys who behave inappropriately towards women. There's the war on Donald Trump. There's so many sub-wars going on. The war going on school safety, but then don't forget there's also the terrorists, and there's a war going on there. Here's the scary part, is that by the time you get off of work and you've already heard all this stuff going on, every day there's something new, school shooting, this, that, getting you to feel a certain way, I've made it home, right? You know, maybe in the morning you check your emails, maybe in the morning you get a little dose of it, but let's just say I've made it through the day, and now at the end of the day, I get my time for myself, so maybe that's when I'm gonna go and research some crypto. But before I do that, let me just catch up on Facebook, and let me just catch up on Twitter. By the time you're done catching up on Facebook and Twitter, you will have surely gotten triggered by something political going on, somebody's opinion, somebody's beliefs, somebody's worldviews. You'll have gotten triggered because you're tired, you're worn out, your critical factors aren't as strong as they are in the morning. Your decision-making mechanisms are worn out from the day of work. So by that point, you're way more susceptible to being triggered and emotion. Then you get triggered on Facebook, hour later of threaded conversation with somebody who's clearly not getting it, might be a hired troll, has no profile picture, could be a fake account. Bottom line is somebody who doesn't matter. You've wasted now an hour just combating and going back and forth with this idiot. Then you go to Twitter and you're like, I made it out of Facebook. Let me go to Twitter. Again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to catch up on crypto. Then you start kind of cruising through some crypto stuff on Twitter. What do you know? Somebody, whether it's the Bitcoin Core or the Bitcoin Cash War, or this is a coin, that's a coin, sucked you in again. Hour later, finally I've come out of that rabbit hole and that loop. You know what? Twitter, let me go to YouTube. And I gotta get updated on what's going on crypto. Maybe you watch me, maybe you watch some other people. You start getting updated, you start getting in the know, you kind of feel like you're caught up a little bit, but oh man, you up again. You scroll down and you look at the comments section, and somebody says some stupid again, no profile image. Who knows who this person is? Who cares? They're a troll, maybe they're hired. These are all realities. But you get sucked in again. Before you know it, you've wasted 2, 3, 4 hours, and now you're passing out. And you've done all that just expressing your opinion instead of working towards financial freedom. My problem, my main issue with right now, let's just call it with right now, is that because everybody's getting sucked in everywhere possible, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, you're getting sucked in, Bitcoin forums, you're getting sucked in and you're getting triggered. And then before you know it, you're out of energy, you're out of focus, you're out of clarity, you're out of will to do what needs to be done to make your family some money. That's my big problem right now. That's what they want. Let's call it they, the proverbial they, okay? They want you to be disempowered, weak, stupid, fighting, divided. Essentially. And so when you divide people, you divide them from each other, but you also divide them from themselves. You divide them from their natural innate power. You divide them from their deductive reasoning. You divide them from being able to grow and move forward in their life. So now I want to talk about some specifics. Now that we've kind of talked about that, and if you're still with me, hey, maybe Jay's just gone nuts on some conspiracy theory bullshit, I want to talk about centralization and how that applies to social media. So I'm going to touch on the Tommy Robinson thing a little bit. We're going to touch on Childish Gambino, This Is America. We're going to touch on Facebook and Twitter, okay? So all this will relate to crypto, just bear with me. Here's what centralization looks like. The rules apply to this scenario, but not to this one. This helps push our agenda forward, so we do this, but not over here. What this echoes through society is that it's okay for it only to be true sometimes and not all the time. It's based on what you want. It's like this whole battle that I constantly have in my YouTube comment sections and with a lot of the stuff that I talk about is there's such a difference between truth and falsehood. If it's truth, then it's a universal truth or just your truth. You can't go around throwing around definitive statements as the truth if it doesn't apply to everything, everywhere, every time, and every point in time. It's not a truth then. It's just what you think. It's an opinion. There's a big difference. And then there's all these falsehoods that get touted around as truths. And a lot of this is just, we look around at the world around us, we see, well, he got away with it, so I don't have to hold myself accountable either. They just did it, so I don't have to hold myself accountable here. I don't want to admit that to myself, so I won't, because I can get away with it. You know what I mean? And it just escalates and escalates. And you wonder why there's like this built foundation of entitlement on different generations. And there's these core problems that never go away. That's why. So anyways, let's talk about this. This Is America. Fascinating social experiment what has just gone on over the last 3 weeks. This is 3 weeks old now. 198 million views on the original, which is a record, I'm sure, ever on the YouTube platform. But now let's talk about the core message a little bit, and one of the wars that they've got to constantly fuel. They've got to constantly fuel that America is racist, right? But in the same stroke, Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, was able to make this video. It never got banned on YouTube. It never got banned on any social media. Then he's able to go around on national television and talk about America's racism, show people in this video getting shot in the head and the gory explosion out of the back without any repercussion, without any masking or shadow banning or not suitable for kids. This was touted around as suitable for kids video. Advertising was unlocked on it, and all these rights were given. That's what I'm not really understanding, is because right here we see, okay, he's making fun of racism in America, so is this a politically correct situation to where they were too afraid to blur some of the shit out, or make it not suitable for kids, or disable advertising? Because we see people over here like PewDiePie who says one wrong thing and he gets advertising stripped away, and this video is not suitable for advertisers. But we got a video that's openly talking about racism, openly talking about violence, and it doesn't get anything. Nothing happens to it. But then he gets touted around on mainstream media full week afterwards. This hits record high amounts of video views. All the news segments are talking about how this is great, this is good, this is a thing that we need to be talking about. But the reality is that there's already so much attention to racism in America, and we don't need another excuse to talk about it. Like, we've got enough excuses to talk about it. And understand this is not any kind of my opinion and my stance on racism in America. This is not to do with, me not respecting the hustle or any of that, right? Like, good for him. He seems like a good guy, honestly. He was amazing in Solo, but let's talk about that. He was in Solo, the Star Wars movie. So it's just fascinating to see all this happen, all this hit. Right? None of it got shadow banned. None of it got advertising stripped away. But yet we have PewDiePie say one wrong word and he gets something stripped away. We have accounts that are lost all the time that are talking about maybe conservative angles that the mainstream media doesn't necessarily like, and they'll ban those all day long. I'll give you a great example. Destroying the Illusion. I came across this channel recently and I liked it. They're talking about the QAnon phenomenon and a lot of this truth movement going on, and a little different than your kind of big, crazy, loud Alex Jones type channels, right? Very good channel. For no reason, gets terminated. Didn't have or 3 strikes against it. Had 2. They have no communication open with them, and they've given them no chance to come back. This happened to me too. This happened on the Crypto Junkies channel. I got 1 strike and then they just went straight to ban. And luckily I was able to get through to somebody and I got that reversed. But how many accounts taken down for no reason? And you would think that the algorithms were smart enough to see this. They were smart enough to be able to tell this, smart enough to be able to tell that, hey, you know, maybe this video where somebody's getting shot in the head, AK-47 violence, racism, shouldn't be touted around the same. But no, it was on the trending page of YouTube. It was posted all over the place. Now, regardless of the reason, remove all of that. The fact still remains, this is what a centralized reaction looks like to a topic. Obviously, the chance to, like, sometimes these things get through, sometimes they're an accident, sometimes this, sometimes that. So there is that coincidence that does occur, but I think that's such a small percentage and a small amount of the time versus when it's, you know, somebody knows what the is going on. I mean, come on, dude. Here's a prime example of centralization and how it's not healthy. Now, I want to quickly jump to Twitter and then we'll go back to Facebook. Over the last couple days, the last 4 or 5 days has been shadow and just straight banning crypto Twitter accounts that they were able to mask under as trolls. So they're going through and trying to ban all these trolls and all this scam stuff like send ETH here, I'll send it back. But somehow, coincidentally, in that, almost every single high profile, big follower crypto Twitter account got banned at some point. Shadow ban, full ban, can't see my responses, nobody can see my stuff. And some lasted, some got immediately removed. Like, it's a wide range of what's going on in this fallout. Barely anyone's talking about, right? But there's like 5 or 6 threads in Reddit talking about this. Restricted for suspicious behavior, nobody can see my replies, threads and threads and threads and threads all day long about this. Twitter made a reply, but what they said is that they're trying to ban spam bot accounts. There's a huge difference between the behavior of a spam bot account and a legitimate person who's posting videos, pictures, text tweets. How can the bot, how can your sophisticated AI not tell the difference? I call bullshit once again. Now let's talk about Facebook. Facebook, this is the only one I could find, but they've actually banned over 1.3 billion Facebook accounts. Centralization at play again. And they claim that it's for people who are breaking the community standards against sexual or violent images, terrorist propaganda, or hate speech. What is hate speech? Hate speech to me could be somebody who just says, f Crypto J. So what is classified as hate speech? That's not defined anywhere. And the reason why is because, one, it's incredibly tough. I'll give it to them. That's a hard topic to cover and to get specific on and then write it out in text in your TOS for everybody to misconstrue and misunderstand, which further creates drama, further creates lawsuits and, you know, slandering. So I get why they're not like hate speech, specifically meaning I get it. But at the same time, this is what centralization looks like. Okay, camera just died, so you won't see my pretty mug anymore. This is what centralization looks like. And that's my problem. My problem is that there's way too much fight for your attention right now, and we're all falling for it, and everybody's getting caught up in drama, bullshit, getting triggered, and nobody's realizing the core mission here. The core mission should first and foremost be that your family is set up and taken care of. You've got your emergency funds, you've got your backup, you've got your diversification. Then go and invest time into being triggered. But we're doing it backwards, and I need to call attention to that so that we can all get smarter with this. This is what centralization looks like. It looks like big goof-ups like this happening, which is completely fueled and pocketed Donnie Glover for tens of millions of dollars by this point. It looks like legitimate accounts that might be bringing awareness towards things that might not be politically correct on Facebook might possibly get banned. It looks like if you're a Twitter authority figure talking about crypto, you might get banned, and a plethora of other things. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about before we go is this recent phenomenon in the last 24 hours is Tommy Robinson. Now, what's happened in the UK is he was arrested for live streaming this court case. It's like a rape case having to do with Muslim extremists, whatever. I don't know the full extent of it, but there was a blackout called by the UK government that nobody in the UK, no news outlets, nobody can cover this story about Tommy Robinson going to jail. This is very crazy. This is the first time we've actually ever seen this. And there was a ton of news outlets that started to report on it and later had to retract those articles and those posts and came out and said, hey, we basically had to pull this down because the government required us to. And there's been no coverage at all in the U.S. mainstream media, has there? Where's all the U.S. articles and U.S. news pieces? Oh, wait, there's none. This is pretty significant. He was basically charged immediately, guilty, 13 months in jail for just live streaming this event. Now, I know there's more behind it. He was out on a suspended sentence. There's so much to this drama story. I don't want to get into that part of it. I just once again want to highlight the fact that for the very first time in a long time have we seen forced censorship. This should be another indicator in the long line of sad tragic news lately that's all swaying, we all can feel it, towards internet censorship. We're already seeing it. YouTube is blocking videos and shadow banning videos for this so nobody can see them. Twitter's doing the same. Facebook is doing the same. Log into your social media and just look. It's not being shown anywhere. So we just went through all these stories. One that happened 3 weeks ago. Coincidence, just got through the wire. One that happened on Twitter and different platforms too. We saw a YouTube example. We saw a Twitter example. We see a Facebook example. Now we've got an entire country example in the last 48 hours of shooting this video, last 24 hours, and it's just blowing my mind to see the layers of this happening by the second. News articles changing, completely changing their angle on it so that they can report on it, right? So you'll see everything is changing in his news stories. Take screenshots because the titles will change, the headlines will change, and the content within them will change because for some reason they want to push an agenda out with this whole story. They're doing a very, very good job of it. The Gateway Pundit, I think this is the one that it changed really, really quickly from this guy gets arrested, Tommy Robinson gets arrested, to hey, some drunk idiot is splashing beer all over the gate. It's just very interesting to see. This guy, who knows what'll happen to him in jail. Apparently they tried to kill him the last time he was in jail for 3 months, and now he's going to be in jail for supposedly 13 months. There's protests going on right now. We'll see what happens with this, but this is happening right now. And look at this. This is his official Twitter account taken down. Why? Why would the Twitter account be taken down, right? Just start to ask these questions. And this, my friends, this is the problem with centralization. These are just horrible examples of the point of this video. I'm seeing this right and left on every single one of these platforms, and I've been talking about it in a small degree in a community, but I really wanted to bring some attention to this because this bothers me so much. This is what crypto is trying to fight against. It's centralization of not just money, but power, influence, persuasion, opinion. None of us have it all figured out. Rightfully so. We should always be stepping out of the bubble and the sounding box to get outside perspective and be open to like, okay, I believed this last week, but you know what? Some new information was presented to me. I got to change it. I can't keep going with this belief because something has forced me to think otherwise. Those sorts of things are what make a well-rounded character. And that's what I really want to promote. That's what I really want out of this whole community, out of this whole crazy crypto with us being public and whatever, is I want to help people get better at these basic things. If you're falling for this and this was an eye-opener for you, awesome. That's good, because now you'll be that much more hesitant the next time. That also brings me to the next topic of conversation, which is we started a mailing list and gotten serious about it. Like you guys know, I've got quite a few half-started projects within the Crypto Junkies community. And so we've got just a simple lander set up. You just click a button, put your name and email in there. That ensures that no matter what, because I'm going to get more polarizing with my content. I know I will. And that's just because I can't hide from myself and who I am and what I stand for. Right? So if you want to ensure that no matter what happens, Twitter goes away, the YouTube goes away, the Twitch goes away, Steam it goes away, whatever, we're going to be able to stay in contact with you via email. We're going to give you updates. We're going to be branching out onto some new platforms as well and starting to fill all of them with content, really changing our approach, okay? Buckling down more and focusing on schedule and an agenda, I guess you could call it, which will be good for you guys because then you know what and where to expect us. That will be good, okay? There's going to be a link underneath this video that will allow you to subscribe. It's just called cryptojunkies.info/newsletter. Flash it on the screen for you real quick now, and it'll be underneath the video for you to go ahead and opt in. Outside of that, we have built out some pages for you to be able to give us testimonials, feature suggestions, and feedback suggestions on all the different platforms and things that we're doing, as well as a big ass page of resources. That is where everything will go from now on. All of our exclusive discount links and community specials, they'll all go there from now on instead of having 50,000 ugly, stupid, spammy links underneath these videos, which has annoyed me for quite a while. So anyways, that's what we got going on. Thank you so much for your continued support. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and subscribe to our action if you haven't already and you like what we're doing. Spread it around, email it to a friend, share it on social media. We would love and appreciate that to help us grow this community. All right, much love, my friends. See ya.
If you like what we're doing on the channel, take a second, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification.
This just in.
Crypto Junkies is now over 1,000 people. 2,500
We now have
people.
over 3,000 people.
4,600. We have crossed over 5,000 people in our Discord chat community.